the story of a flower, beauty, science, and symbolism. If you pause for a moment and look closely at the flower in this image, you'll notice that it isn't just a simple bloom. It's almost like a painting made by nature herself, every petal glowing in shades of red, orange, and yellow, illuminated by sunlight from behind. The translucent veins on the petals act like windows of light, creating a halo effect, as if the flower is carrying its own inner flame. This flower is most likely a cosmos or dahlia, both known for their vibrant colors and symmetrical beauty. But today, rather than just naming it, let's truly explore what this flower teaches us through science, culture, and philosophy. Lesson in symmetry. If you look at the flower from behind, as shown here, you'll notice the nearly perfect radial symmetry. Nature seems to favor patterns, spirals, circles, and repetitions. This symmetry is not just aesthetic, it's mathematical. The arrangement of petals often follows the Fibonacci sequence, a natural code that governs the growth of leaves, shells, and galaxies. In other words, this flower is not random beauty. It is mathematics expressed as art. 3. The flower as a symbol in human culture. Flowers have been central to human life for thousands of years. Different cultures attach different meanings to them. In Hindu traditions, flowers are seen as offerings to the divine, symbols of purity and devotion. In Western art, flowers often represent love, fragility, or the passing of time. In Japanese philosophy, particularly Hankotoba, each flower carries a coded message. A bright bloom like this might represent passion, energy, or joy. Looking at this glowing red-orange flower, one could easily interpret it as a symbol of sunrise, the start of new possibilities. 4. The emotional impact of flowers. Have you ever wondered why just looking at flowers makes us feel calm or happy? Psychologists say that flowers trigger positive emotions in the human brain. Their colors, their symmetry, and their fragrance reduce stress and even improve concentration. This is why hospitals often keep fresh flowers. They are not just decoration, they are medicine for the soul. The perspective of the bee. Now imagine this flower not from a human's view, but from the perspective of a bee. For the bee, this flower is a life source, a place of nourishment. The glowing petals are not for beauty, they are a roadmap. This reminds us that beauty is relative. What we see as art, another creature sees as survival. 6. Philosophy of the flower. Flowers also carry deep philosophical meaning. They bloom, they shine for a short while, and then they wither. Their cycle mirrors human life. The Buddha once held up a flower to his disciples and said nothing. Only one disciple, Mahakhyapa, smiled in understanding. This moment, known as the flower sermon, taught that truth cannot always be spoken. Sometimes it can only be experienced. Similarly, this flower in the picture whispers a silent lesson. Live fully while you can. Shine brightly, share your nectar, and when it's time, fade gracefully. Philosophy of the flower. Flowers also carry deep philosophical meaning. They bloom, they shine for a short while, and then they wither. Their cycle mirrors human life. The Buddha once held up a flower to his disciples and said nothing. Only one disciple, Mahakhyapa, smiled in understanding. This moment, known as the flower sermon, taught that truth cannot always be spoken. Sometimes it can only be experienced. Similarly, this flower in the picture whispers a silent lesson. Live fully while you can. Shine brightly, share your nectar, and when it's time, fade gracefully. 7. Environmental connection. In today's world, flowers are also silent victims of climate change. Rising temperatures affect their blooming cycles, and disappearing bees threaten their survival. This single flower stands not only as a symbol of beauty, but also as a reminder of our responsibility to protect ecosystems. Without flowers, food chains collapse. Without bees, human agriculture itself is in danger. So when we admire this bloom, we are also being called to action, to value and preserve the delicate balance of nature. Closing reflection. As the sun sets behind this glowing flower, we can reflect. Why does this simple bloom captivate us so deeply? Because it is not just a flower, it is science, wrapped in art. It is mathematics, expressed as beauty. It is culture, symbol, and spirituality. It is survival for bees, joy for humans, and a message from the earth herself. And perhaps, most importantly, it reminds us of impermanence. This flower will not last forever, but in the brief time it exists, it brings beauty, sustenance, and meaning to the world. So, the next time you see a flower like this, don't just pass by. Pause. Look deeper. Because within those petals lies the story of life itself.